Alright, we are back once again. Here and now, but now and then. I breathed it. It's Call of Duty. It's another Slutcast. It's about Call of Duty. Alright, so let's just do this shit.
Something we didn't think we were going to talk about, because we were probably done with it, but something recently has happened that brought our attention.
And unironically, this entire Slutcast was because of a question. We'll get into that when we get into that, but first, like the usual Slutcast, whenever we're talking about a game that we have never talked about, we're going to talk about our history with this franchise. We're going to start with you, since you are my guest, my dear Sagittarius brother.
Gene, by the way, guys. Alright.
I'm sure they would know by now. You've appeared in 2 Slutcasts prior to this, and we have an entire YouTube channel with it. Which, by the way, you should probably subscribe to. But that's the story for another tale.
Alright. Juanito, watch out, I'm coming for you.
Alright, Gene. Your Call of Duty history. Your duty history. Your duty calls.
Alright, so basically my history with Call of Duty started way back with motherfucking Call of Duty 2.
Jesus fuck.
My dad played it on his Xbox 360, and like when the remaster came out, or I think it already came out on the Xbox 360, I don't remember.
I may be wrong, but I think Call of Duty 2 was one of the first Xbox 360 games.
Okay, so I did play Call of Duty 2 on the Xbox 360, and then I would just buy all of the sequels. I would buy Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 5, I believe was World at War, or it was 6, I don't remember, but it was World at War, then Modern Warfare 2, and you basically get the gist. Modern Warfare has been my favorite trilogy in the Call of Duty franchise. I'd have to say it's a close second to Black Ops, but as you know, Marcos, I completely hate Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4.
Something we'll get into for a little bit, but yeah.
To this very day, I hate those 2 games, and I also have a controversial opinion that the community is gonna probably hate or love, but
it's not like we're even part of those communities, so we got nothing to lose of talking shit about them.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit, but this unpopular opinion, I'm gonna take it out right now.
Oh boy.
Nelson, shout out to you, Nelson, but Call of Duty Ghost is underrated. Call of Duty Ghost is underrated.
Oh my god.
It's fucking underrated, I'm gonna tell you later.
Oh my god, you lost respect from me now. Jesus fuck. Okay, but whew! Alright, I did not. Okay. So, now my history with Call of Duty. I was actually a very well-known Call of Duty player back in the Modern Warfare days. What, you don't believe me? Here's the clip right here, proof.
What's up guys, Brass Monkey here. The following video is an edit done by Mark. He was nice enough to help out with doing some of the edit work for the previous video that I posted with Robert Bowling. So go ahead, check out his video, and if you like it, you can subscribe. I will put a link in the description. Thanks again, Mark, for helping out with the edit work.
See? I told you, I'm a very well-known Call of Duty player. I did editing compilations for everybody. I'm just kidding. No, it's a big coincidence that there was another person that was called Xmark back in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare games. That's not me. But I like to embrace that role. My real history actually goes this. My first-person shooter experience actually came with Halo. I've heard of Call of Duty somewhere, like I may have seen it on the shelf somewhere, but I never paid too much attention to it. But I was pretty much neglected of any first-person shooter because I was just playing Halo the most. More specifically, Halos 2 and 3. Those are my 2 favorite Halo games to this day. And then something interesting happened. Modern Warfare 2 was announced, and it took my school's attention away from doing homework, okay? I don't know what it was.
All of us.
I don't know what it was, but Modern Warfare 2 was such a big fucking deal back in school. I'm not gonna say high school because that's a big fat lie. I was in the 6th grade when Modern Warfare 2 came out. It was 2009. I'm not that old. So I was pondering about it because I was thinking about getting the game myself, but I didn't know anything about Call of Duty. But everybody was playing it, and this is little old lack of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not optimistic version of me who wanted to be a part of a fad, ended up getting Modern Warfare 2 himself. And I already had Xbox Live months because, of course, Halo, and this was on the verge of the original Xbox Live that was about to be removed, so I was playing a shitload of Halo 2. But I decided to get Modern Warfare 2. I played through the campaign, but I didn't like it. Not the campaign. The campaign was good, but I didn't like the game, personally. I'm not sure. I can't really answer that question. I just never really had fun with Call of Duty. But this fucked up mentality that I had of I wanted to be part of the big boy group made me pretend to like Call of Duty. Leading up to when Modern Warfare 3 came out, Modern Warfare 3... Listen, you would think that MK9 would be my first PS3 game, because I was more excited for that game than I was with Modern Warfare 3. No, Modern Warfare 3 was the first PS3 game I owned. I got it along with my PS3. And while I don't necessarily think that these games are bad, I really forced myself to really like these games because everybody from my school was playing it. The group that I wanted to be part of was playing it. But in actuality, I was actually having way more fun with Left 4 Dead and Mortal Kombat at the time that I just really kind of felt like I was dragging myself to really play the game. And the funny thing is that I would even get made fun of for playing MK9 because everybody got bored of playing MK9. And a lot of people did not like Left 4 Dead where I was. So I was like, okay, then I guess Call of Duty is really better than both of those games. It isn't. Fuck you. Zombies is cool. I like Black Ops 1. I think Black Ops 1 is probably my favorites. That's really because I love the zombies. Black Ops 2 I have fond memories of because I literally told myself that I was not going to buy the game because I much prefer playing the MW3 face-off mini thing with Andy and Kyle. But my dad ended up buying Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 2 next to Overwatch became my main game with Cat for a long time. So Black Ops 2 has a soft spot for me, but I swear on my life that I told myself that Black Ops 2 is going to be my last Call of Duty game because of how sick and tired I am of the franchise. Modern Warfare 2 was cool for its time, but you have to see that by the time NW3 and Black Ops 2 came out, it was becoming repetitive. There was nothing new that was being thrown in the series. Just because a game is called Modern Warfare or Black Ops doesn't automatically give it a pass because it's really just the same games over and over. Every year, $60 just so you can play another game. Rather than supporting the others, they just keep milking the franchise. Black Ops 2 came out in 2012. That's almost 7 years because Modern Warfare Remastered hasn't come out. But so far it's 6 years that we keep getting Call of Duty sequels. 2 of which are Black Ops sequels.
So almost a decade with the same damn engine.
Yeah. So I'm tired of Call of Duty. I get that it sort of got me started on YouTube because contrary to the other X Mark, but I was mostly involved with Gavin playing Call of Duty. Yeah, Gavin was. I became friends with Gavin, and one of the first games we actually played were Call of Duty. So Call of Duty kind of started my friendship with him, and as well as his channel became known for his Call of Duty montages, which kind of paved way to my channel eventually, even though I was not a Call of Duty channel. But yeah, so. The main topic is is it really as good as we remember it? Now, the only way we can really talk about... Okay, hold on. Here, 1 second. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. That was an important call. What were we talking about? Okay, so... I guess... Okay, we're gonna talk about why... If Call of Duty is still as good as we remembered it from when it came out. So I think it's smart that we go from the beginning. And I'm actually glad that you told me that you actually played Call of Duty 2, because when it came to the World War II games, I haven't played any of them. I only know about them. Call of Duty has only been in the back of my mind until 2009. 2009 is when it really hit the shelf for me, with Modern Warfare 2 and then Black Ops 1 coming out the year later. So, would you like to talk about the World War II games?
I mean, when we're talking about the World War II games, the only one I really played with campaign multiplayer is the one that recently came out, which is Call of Duty World War II.
What about Call of Duty 2, though?
I did play Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 3, but not as much as to know every little detail about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean I can
for you to know, I was just a kid. How the fuck am I gonna know,
dude,
every single
I was
detail?
I was in the 2nd grade when I got Mortal Kombat Deception. Shut the fuck up.
But are you seriously that old to be like, oh my god, I played in 60 frames per second? No. Like, I was a kid, and my dad was fucking playing Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 3.
Alright, okay. So this will be a quick one then, because I haven't played any of the World War II games, with the exception of World at War. But basically, Call of Duty was primarily known for its World War II settings. That was the case for every Call of Duty game until Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out. Call of Duty 4 was the one that broke the pattern of, yeah, we're not going to put our settings into World War II. This time it's going to be an original story, you know, it's original, like, plots. It's not going to be based off of, like, any real-life events, at least to my knowledge. It's not like I'm a big historian myself. So Modern Warfare, there are exceptions. World at War still takes place in the World War II settings, and that was the game that introduced Nazi zombies, which I'll get into much later. And then one of the recent Call of Duty games, World War II, also goes back to that time period. But there's a fucking reason why they chose to do it that way, which I'll get to it. But the point of the matter is that Call of Duty was primarily known for its World War II settings at the time. And now, I think we can find... So, I just wanted to get that part out of the way. Normally, I'd go a little bit more in-depth, but unfortunately, none of us have played the Call of Duty World War II games, with only a couple of exceptions. But we'll tell you games that we have played. Let's talk about the Modern Warfare trilogy and what made them special in the first place. I mean, you were going to say something, so sorry if I interrupted you.
Well, going back to World War II, I mean, it's a good setting. Like, I really...
Wait, don't talk about World War II. Wait.
I really like World War II, though.
Gene, wait, Gene! Don't talk about World War II yet. Like, that comes much later.
Jesus.
Like, when I say World War II games, I'm talking about Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3.
Alright, well, fuck them.
Okay, I mean, I guess World at War, but I kind of had Nazi zombies on its own settings, but I have World War II in the Call of Duty's Redemption part, and I was going to save it for that.
Alright, just keep going.
Okay, so what made the Modern Warfare trilogy special?
Well, in my opinion, what really made it special was its campaign and multiplayer.
That's actually correct. That's the correct answer.
But in my opinion, it's primarily the campaign, because the multiplayer, I would just prefer Halo to Halo's multiplayer.
Okay.
But in my opinion, like, it's the only campaign that actually has characters that I'm emotionally invested in. Like, it's probably like the only characters from a Call of Duty game that I can remember by name. Like Captain Price, Soap, and Ghost.
Yuri?
Are primarily Yuri too, but like he was in only one game, so who the fuck cares?
No, Yuri was in MW. No, wait, you're right, MW. Yeah, no, he was probably in MW3. I think they may have
history right.
They may have added him in MW1 remastered. That's what I'm just like remembering.
All right, so great, you just fucked up my train of thought.
How, by saying Yuri?
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about him. But anyways, those are probably the only characters that I actually do give a shit about in Call of Duty game, aside from the Black Ops games. But I would have to say that I prefer Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 to those games other than Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. I think those games are really good. But I just think that Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 are huge trash, dog shit, garbage.
Alright, we'll get to that when we get to that, but now, what was I gonna say? Okay, you talked about the campaigns, and while it's true, the Modern Warfare trilogy has a really good story. I think even Black Ops 1 had a pretty good story. I can't remember anything about Black Ops 2's campaign though, but the Modern Warfare trilogy was okay. CoD 4 specifically was the first game to remove itself from the World War II setting and become its own original thing. And its plot was very creative. Like, it did an excellent job with its own settings and its own story, and not having to bring in anything World War II related into this game. But I will show emphasis about this, but Call of Duty 4 was also special because of its multiplayer. And yes, while I do agree that I do prefer Halo, in terms of like console first-person shooter games, Call of Duty and Halo were like the biggest first-person shooter games in console period. Back then, it would mostly be on PC. Namely, games like Doom, for instance, are very popular on PC. Doom and I believe Quake and a bunch of other games that I can't really remember off the top of my head. But Call of Duty and Halo, even though Call of Duty has also been on PC, the mainstream audience picked it up with the console era. And then it started like this whole phenomenon that the first-person shooters could actually work on consoles. And the multiplayer for Call of Duty was different for its time. I mean, it's a straight-up simple team deathmatch and free-for-all type of multiplayer that wasn't even seen or known at the time. So yeah, Call of Duty 4 was a big deal, and Modern Warfare 2 expanded it even further. The Modern Warfare 3 was a very appropriate conclusion to the Modern Warfare trilogy that I was happy to witness myself. So, granted, like, yeah, Modern Warfare started a lot of this trope, or at least the formulaic approach that the later Call of Duty games would do later. Now, we won't get to, I don't want to get too much further into it because I'm just primarily talking about the Modern Warfare trilogy, but there is a reason why a lot of people are making such a big deal with the other game that's coming out.
Save that for later.
Yeah. So the Modern Warfare trilogy will always have a special place in my heart and in the hearts of many, whether you're currently a Call of Duty player or not. Those games were great, one shape or form. Whether it's the campaign you're looking for, or the Spec Ops, or the multiplayer, there's something for everybody. And I argue that the Modern Warfare trilogy was so revolutionary that it pretty much showcases why I'm disappointed with the later Call of Duty games for not taking any sort of risk or anything. Which leads me to the next one, the second biggest thing that they did, Nazi zombies. Now, zombies.
Well, they're not Nazis anymore.
Okay, well, by World at War, it was called Nazi zombies. Now it's just called zombies, but a lot of if you're a true Call of Duty fan, you'd call them Nazi zombies. I love zombies. Okay, I love it, and this is coming from a big Left 4 Dead player. Okay, I love Left 4 Dead, and I love the zombies on that. I love The Last of Us. You know, zombie games are just cool. Okay. Black Ops has this weird sense of addiction, or like the zombies, okay? I'm not just referring to Black Ops, because I started with World at War when it came to the zombies. And let me tell you, the zombies, they're so addicting in some way, in so many areas. The first games I played were the Modern Warfare games, but I have two friends that were, big Call of Duty chills, and they much prefer playing Black Ops. And I remember Gavin would always tell me how much he hated Black Ops, and then when I got the game myself, I couldn't understand why Gavin hated Black Ops 1 specifically, because I was addicted to Black Ops 1's zombies. More so that I played the zombies way more than the multiplayer, I'd say. And Black Ops 2 made it even better. Like, damn. It's okay.
I
Sorry.
can't really speak for myself. I can't really speak for myself for the zombies because I didn't really much play zombies. I mean, I enjoyed every single minute of it, but I would just play survival. I mean,
survival is fun. MW2 and 3 survival. Wait. No, MW3 survival was good. I don't remember. Modern Warfare 2 didn't have a survival. Modern Warfare 2 had Spec Ops.
Yeah, but Black Ops 2 had this really creative way, like, to introduce zombies like transit and all that bullshit. I wasn't really interested in that.
I love transits.
Transit was huge shit for me. I really didn't like it.
Really?
I just wanted to survive. I just wanted to survive and like shoot zombies.
Oh,
Transit
dude, I loved Transit. Transit was like one of the, in my opinion, was one of the better zombie maps. Like the only thing I really hate about Transits were the characters that you play as. Like they got so annoying that I never had. One time I was playing with cats, I literally just muted the fucking game because I could not stand. No, I removed the vocals because I hated listening to the characters. The characters make me cringe, but the map themselves is such a blast. Trying to find like different corridors and shit like that is just one of the best things about Transit. But I don't know, we have a different opinion, but personally, if I were to come back to play a Call of Duty game, I feel like the zombies has to try and make a good impression on me. Something we'll get into much later, but yeah. But zombies has easily been the best new thing that Call of Duty has done, next to what Modern Warfare has done. And now, what made it all suck now? Here's the thing: they either ran out of ideas, or they're not doing anything unique and different anymore. This next topic is called the fall of Call of Duty. Do you have an opinion on what made Call of Duty fall to its ultimate demise, or do you want to save it for when we get to certain games?
First things first. A lot of people say that the fall of Call of Duty started with Call of Duty Ghosts. I think that's huge bullshit, and I'm gonna get to it right now. I
was gonna say, like, a lot of people, like, that splits on what game made the fall of Call of Duty happen. Like, I know people that stopped playing after Modern Warfare 2, and then there are people that stopped after Modern Warfare 3. Like, I stopped after Black Ops 2, and I know a couple of other friends have also said the same thing about stopping in Black Ops 2. Something that's kind of like the big reason of how I feel towards the other games, but yeah, you go ahead.
Well, I personally stopped playing it after Call of Duty Ghosts, because once Call of Duty Advanced Warfare was revealed, I thought that it was huge shit. Like, introducing jetpacks, I get that they're doing something new, but at least stay in your own field.
Holy shit, I forgot that Advanced Warfare had the... Oh yeah, I was like shitting on it so bad because I'm like, wow, could this game try and copy Halo any further? Because Black Ops 2 had the fucking score streaks, which came from Halo 4.
Just at least stay in your own field and do something new in your own field. You're a military shooter, not fucking Star Wars. Just don't put lightsabers and shit. But this is one of the reasons because I like Call of Duty Ghosts, because I'm a huge Fallout player, and Call of Duty Ghosts had in this campaign a little subplot where it was apocalyptic, and it was very, very interesting for me. When I play Call of Duty, I personally enjoy the campaigns. I really like them. They're a huge pet peeve for me. But once Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare and Call of Duty came out with this future bullshit, I didn't really enjoy it. It was bad taste for me. I didn't really like it.
Okay, well, one thing for me is that whenever they try, well, you just kind of proved my point, whenever they're trying to be quote-unquote innovative, they're really just copying something that another game started and arguably did better. And to me, it's just running out of steam. Like, zombies was like, I get zombies isn't really like a thing at the time, but Zombies was still an original thing that Treyarch had to build from the ground works and perfected with each new sequel. That's why I can appreciate Zombies. And I haven't played Ghost, but does Ghost have this extinction mode where it's not with zombies but with aliens?
Yeah, it has extinction, but to be honest, the selling point for me for Call of Duty Ghosts was the campaign and the multiplayer. The multiplayer was very interesting in my eyes.
So why I need to know, like, why do you think people say that Call of Duty Ghosts is actually the worst Call of Duty game?
Because I heard a lot of people say that extinction was shit, which arguably, in my opinion, it is. But a lot of people are pretty salty because it wasn't zombies. That's the only reason why I can say that extinction is bullshit, because a lot of people are salty that it wasn't zombies.
Okay.
And a lot of people also didn't like the multiplayer of Call of Duty Ghosts because they said that the maps were too big. Honestly, what the fuck is that excuse? Like, Call of Duty Ghosts, in my eyes, was, you wanted something new, Call of Duty Ghosts did something new. Like, they brought into the campaign an apocalyptic setting, and it was very interesting. The campaign was very, very good, in my opinion.
I have a thing to say about the big map thing. I mean, I can't really speak for it because I haven't played Ghosts. As I said, as I stated multiple times, I've stopped after Black Ops 2. Everything that I hear is basically what the internet tells me. From the big maps comments, I can probably see it being a big deal because I wouldn't probably like it if the games constantly end in a timeout or people are just camping, because there's a map in Modern Warfare 3 that is meant for face-offs, like 2v2 or 3v3, and the things I hate about face-off is the fact that it kind of motivates people to start camping and sniping, and that's one of the things that, even though I played face-off with Andy a shitload of times, one of the things that I get really pet peeved about is just the fact that anything that there's a map that's so motivatedly for camping or for timeouts, I automatically hate with a passion. Oh yeah, Infected is another original campaign. Yeah.
No, it's not huge as that point. It's that they're huge because because it supports different game modes. So you play free for all in a small map, and you want to play domination in a bigger map. That's why they're bigger.
Okay.
Because it gives more space to shootouts. It's not this drop shot 360 clutch shit. It's strategy based, and that's why people like Overwatch, and that's why Call of Duty Ghosts was good in my opinion. But a lot of people didn't really give a shit because they came out of Black Ops 2, which was a lot of drop shot 360 clutch bullshit, and Call of Duty Ghosts really didn't have that as much, and that's why a lot of people didn't like it, because all the try-hard sweaties wanted 360 clutches.
So in your opinion, what's the worst Call of Duty game?
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and Infinite Warfare.
Okay.
Look, all of the Call of Duty games that came after Call of Duty Ghosts, I have to say that are the fucking worst. Because at least I can say that Call of Duty Ghosts did something extremely different.
Which leads to the next topic, the redemption, quote unquote, of Call of Duty, where I only have 2 games listed, but that's because these are the 2 games that that caught my attention. But let's briefly talk about I have not played Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare. I only heard about those games, and I heard that a lot of people don't like them, so I didn't even bother. But then they're actually, rather than 2, I'm gonna say 3 games actually caught my attention, and I was curious to know where they would go with that. Okay. Infinite Warfare. Did Infinite Warfare came after World War II?
It came before.
Okay, so Infinite Warfare came out, then World War II, and then Black Ops 4? Yeah, okay. We can talk a little bit about Black Ops 3, since I feel like you have a lot to say about that game. So, we're going to start with, not Infinite Warfare, but Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered. that's in the Infinite Warfare collection. Fuck you, Activision. Fuck you.
Well, to be fair, to give Activision a little, like, it came out after Infinite Warfare also, like, it came out alone, so anybody that didn't buy Infinite Warfare had to wait a little longer to buy Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered.
So can you actually get Modern Warfare 4 Remastered on its own?
Yeah, it was also free for PS Plus, Marco.
Shut up! I'm pissed off because I missed that mark with Borderlands 2. And I just bought Borderlands 2.
Well, I can tell you that Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered is really, really, really good. Like, everything that's in the original is still in the remastered.
Now, I do want to point this out because I really don't want this shit to even happen. I get the pre-order bonus, but if you're gonna release a remaster, leave it on its own. Like, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered is a good idea to bring everybody that already loved the Call of Duty franchise into it. Putting it in a paywall, even if it's not in that paywall anymore, is a big fuck you. It's a big middle finger for you. It's like, why put it behind a paywall? Who's gonna want to buy Infinite Warfare? Like, to play Infinite Warfare? Nobody! People liked Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, but now I need to ask you this: is this, with all the Call of Duty games that came out like since Modern Warfare 2 or anything, leading up to COD 4 Modern Warfare Remastered, what's the difference between this game now, like we're looking at COD 4 now, versus all the Call of Duty games that came after COD 4 came out initially?
The difference is nothing.
Exactly. So, like, I don't understand.
By gameplay standards, nothing.
Like, I'll appreciate the Easter eggs that Modern Warfare 1 Remastered gave us, but that's because, like, you know, there's some little fun Easter eggs, such as actually being able to kill Makarov before any of the Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 events happen. It's a fun Easter egg thing, but remove that. It's the same game. It's the same game as COD 4, which is technically the same game as every Call of Duty game that's came out prior, which means nothing.
This is also a fun Easter egg, but in that same mission where you kill Makarov, if you kill them both, actually, that mission is much harder. It's much more fun that way.
Yeah. Well, it's cool to have COD 4 again. I feel like COD 4 doesn't really age well with how the current Call of Duty formula has actually kind of, like, been going around. You can say all you want that Modern Warfare 2 had a good multiplayer, but I feel like as time progresses with the Call of Duty franchise, it's starting, like, the cracks are starting to show. And I feel like the reason why they released Modern Warfare Remastered is because they know that everybody's going to buy the game, since everybody has the most fond memories over Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But look at it in hindsight. I get that it was a big deal back when it came out, but it's not anymore. Halo Master Chief Collection is almost the same thing, except I argue better, because at least with Halo, they do try and experiment it with the multiplayer. Halo 4 and Halo 5 Guardians do not play just like how classic Halo used to play. And Halo Reach's multiplayer is different, it differentiates enough from Halo 2 and 3. And even Halo 3 has some minor differences between Halo 2.
And it's coming out on PC, baby.
That's true. I'm actually more excited to play Halo Master Chief Collection than literally any Call of Duty game. So, next game, World War II. The same shit that I'm noticing with Modern Warfare 1 Remastered, and even the new Call of Duty game that's announced, this is exactly what I have an issue with. They are clearly trying to cater to old fans again. Why go back to the World War II setting since you pretty much abandoned it after COD 4? World at War was the only exception, and I feel like World at War was really just to create Nazi zombies.
Well, alright. I actually like Call of Duty World War II. It's actually pretty fun.
Okay, why?
Like, I'm a campaign guy. Like, if you're gonna talk to me like about Call of Duty, I'm always gonna bring up the campaign. And the campaign in World War II is very, very interesting. Like, I really liked it. Multiplayer was also really fun, and the zombies are really fun too. Like, the only problem I see in Call of Duty World War II are still the microtransactions, but really, like, that's still going to be in on every Call of Duty coming forward, so, like, why bother, really?
Which I'm pretty sure you have a lot to say when we get to Black Ops 4, but that's besides the point. But, see, when I see a game like World War II, after seeing Call of Duty's current patterns and formulaic approach, they're just desperate at this point. Like,
I mean, and also the World War II campaign was also really interesting because the AI, your companions actually give you buffs. Like, they could also give you, like, more grenades, they could give you more ammo, like, one of them can also pinpoint where enemies are, like, it's really fun and pretty...
The game is holding your hand then. You know when you know how I want to get ammo back in Halo? By throwing a grenade at my comrades.
But still, it's a mechanic that's appreciated.
I guess if you're 5 years old, sure. I'm sorry, like, that's not enough for me. Like, I don't care about the AIs. The AIs are gonna keep dying on their own anyway. I guess it's appreciated, but really, it doesn't do anything new. It doesn't make them any smarter, they're just programmed to give you ammo. To me, that just seems like, here, you're a 2-year-old who can't handle its own. Here's some ammo. It's like, I don't know, I know it's not a big...
You manually press the D-pad for them to give you the ammo. You could also be like, no, fuck off, keep it.
You know what I'd do?
Fuck off, keep it.
Fuck off, keep it. I play Modern Warfare fucking veteran mode. I don't need your help.
But moving.
Hold up, but I need to get my point because I don't know. Like, I get, okay, best case scenario, it has a good campaign. So what?
I don't think also really good. You don't like jump around like with your fucking.
See, that's where I heard the opposite opinion on it. That's where I hear the opposite of it. I hear it's the same multiplayer.
No, it really isn't because like when I was playing Black Ops 3, it was a load of bullshit because I thought I was fucking playing Titanfall. Everybody running around the fucking walls and 360 clutching around while you're fucking jumping around is fun and all, but like if I want to do that shit, I would much rather fucking play a different game.
A Modern Warfare game more like it.
Like, I'm not really interested in all that, like, jumping around and, like, drop shotting and doing clutches. I don't really give a shit about that.
I'll take your opinion, like, as light as possible, because I really refuse to play any other Call of Duty game. But I don't remember ever hearing that everything you're saying about World War II. I heard it was basically the same as literally every Call of Duty game, including there being 360 gnome-scopers and shit like that in a World War II settings. Also, continuity-wise, it also probably doesn't. I heard it also doesn't even make sense with the weapons.
No, Marcos, there's still gonna be like those sweaty tryhards that are still gonna be doing that shit. But
that was what I was referring to. Like, it's the same game.
Well, yeah, obviously there's gonna be still those sweaty tryhards that are gonna do that shit.
Okay, but now I got you where I needed you to. Why go back at World War II then?
Well, in order to get I agree with you, it's in order to get the people that really don't play Call of Duty anymore, because still they're catering to a much more casual audience. For me,
they almost got me because World War II was like a very familiar setting. It's like, oh shit, they're gonna go back to World War II? Well, this is gonna be and it's the same game. Except in World War II.
What are they doing with Modern Warfare, Marcos?
Not yet, buddy. Not yet. It's called foreshadowing. Okay, now this one's all for you, baby. You take this. Black Ops 3 and 4.
I fucking hate those games. I hate them.
Okay, I can talk about Black Ops 4, but I want you to take. I'll give you the spotlight for Black Ops 3. Since honestly, I think I pretty much mentally checked out of Black Ops 3.
I mean, I can talk about both of them. I hate them both equally.
Let's start with Black Ops 3, but that's all on you.
Alright. Black Ops 3 is complete bullshit. It's trash. Like, the campaign is stupid. I'll start with that. I said that I'm a huge campaign shill, and I completely hate Black Ops 3's campaign. It's huge bullshit. The final boss is a fucking tree. I'm gonna say it right there.
What is this, Oasis in Fallout 3?
The final boss, you know where in Modern Warfare 3 you have to like fight Makarov, but it's like a quick time event?
Yeah.
This one, you just shoot a fucking tree.
Now I'm very curious.
I still don't like the campaign.
Now I'm really curious.
You can customize your character, but aside from choosing like 3 beard choices and 3 hairstyles.
Okay, I literally heard right. I heard beard choices, but for a second I was gonna ask you, did you just say beer choices?
I mean, you gotta go far with your customization, buddy.
I was gonna say your beer choice is to play a shitty game like Black Ops 3. Like how drunk would you want to get to play that game?
It's stupid, and like, spoiler alert if you still haven't played it, which there's a complete stupid shitty mindfuck in the Call of Duty campaign, and it's stupid. It's a stupid mindfuck. I saw some people on YouTube like praising it and everything, but in my eyes, it's not fucking Witcher 3, okay?
Jeez, I really want to know.
It's shitty. It's a shit campaign. I can wipe my ass with that campaign.
Alright, so moving on, Black Ops 4, but let me go first because I know you'll have more to say. But I want to give my things. Now, as I said, World War II was the other Call of Duty game that nearly broke my Black Ops 2 being my last Call of Duty game thing out the fucking window. And it wasn't until I heard people reviewing the game that I just heard it's the same shit. Now, Black Ops 4 comes out, and I hear, and I quote, that it was one of the best Call of Duty games in a long time. One of my closest friends said that Black Ops 4 was one of the greatest Call of Duty games he's played since Black Ops 2. He was one of those people that stopped playing after Black Ops 2. Or really that stopped giving a shit about it. But he praised the living fuck out of Black Ops 4. Everywhere I go, Black Ops 4 is marvelously praised, like a great Call of Duty game. It revived the franchise, it's back on its root, and introduced something new, Blackout, which, by the way, Blackout is basically PUBG or like any other Battle Royale game that's came out since then. That's what it is. If it plays better than PUBG, then congrats, but it's still a Battle Royale game that's inspired by PUBG, Fortnite, Apex Legends, or every bullshit like that. And let me tell you this, Gene, because I told you, but let me tell the audience this. I've been playing, throughout the beginning of this year, I was playing Apex Legends with this fuckhead, and a few other fuckheads. I didn't like the game. I do think it was better than most Battle Royale games, but I don't like it when games are like, hey, here's a multiplayer. Oh, you're dead. Guess I gotta find another one. When I honestly can tell you that I have more fun with Call of Duty than Battle Royale games, you know there's a problem. Or you know that I probably just don't like the games personally. Or maybe I just suck at video games. Who knows? Who cares? Black Ops 4 comes out, and it has unending praise with this Blackout mode. Why? I cannot tell you. If anything, that's the one that's like, wow, So, Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 2 copying Halo was only the beginning. This time they take the whole roots, like, oh, because Battle Royale games are currently the most popular video games ever made, with Fortnite and Apex Legends being the second and third games ranked on highest rated games on Twitch, and counting as of right now. Like, it's no wonder they decide to do their own take on it. Not because it's the same shit with World War II. It's the same shit with Modern Warfare 1 Remastered. It's the same shit here. And guess what? It's the same shit with the other game that's coming out. They're not being original. They're not being new. They're not doing anything different. It's the same shit every year, but copying other shit that was popular. And guess what? Objectively better than this bullshit. I'm done. You may proceed with your rants.
Alright. Well, ever since the trailer came out, I really wasn't interested in Black Ops 4. And once I saw the trailer, they immediately said that there was going to be no campaign, so my interest
that's another thing!
further. What?
That's another thing! Whose retarded mentality said no campaigns? I get that Call of Duty was popular for its multiplayer, but to give up on campaigns as a whole, it's like, this game is not even worth $60. It's worth $20. Actually, no, not even. It's worth it's worth wiping my ass with it.
Alright, are you done now?
Yeah, now I'm actually done. But if you bring up something that pisses me off, expect another outburst. Just a fair warning.
Alright. Well, after the trailer came out, they announced that there was going to be no campaign, so my interest dropped further again. And once they announced Blackout, I was like, why? Like, you could have kept the campaign and done Blackout the same. It's huge bullshit because you're taking away a huge part of Call of Duty and putting another one and still making it $60 is still bullshit in my opinion.
Even if the campaigns were crap, at the very least, have it there. Like, I don't care if it's crap. If it's not there, then it's pretty much worth half of, like, every Call of Duty game that's came out with $60.
But in my opinion, Black Ops 4 is just Black Ops 3.5. It's the same bullshit.
Hey, but it's called Black Ops 4 because if you round the numbers, it turns it to a 4.
It's Black Ops 3.5 in my eyes. Once I saw, like, I saw World War II and I played World War II and it was fun. But then they announced Black Ops 4 and it's the same bullshit as Black Ops 3. I just wasn't interested. Plus that they would have zombies, it's the same shit as Black Ops 3. They would have multiplayer, which is the same shit as Black Ops 3. And they have Blackout, which is just PUBG and
a Call of Duty game.
Which is just PUBG made by Treyarch. Like, I have just one thing to say. Get off of Treyarch and Activision's dick.
Beautiful words have never been any more spoken.
Get off of it. It's still the same shit, and I have not seen any other game that has copy-pasted Black Ops 3 more. And it's made by the same fucking people. That is the most copy-pasted shit I've ever seen.
This is worse than The Force Awakens.
But aside from that, let's move on, because we could be like 2 hours just talking about Black Ops 4.
And now, all this rant, all this protest, all this, we're done with the Call of Duty franchise, so why the fuck are we even talking about this? You know, we should listen to some real professional Call of Duty players that know what their shit. No, you should not listen to sellouts, okay? Because all of this is leading up to the fact that the newest Call of Duty game is Modern Warfare. And everybody's losing their shit again. Why?
I'm losing my shit.
But why? Because Captain Price is back? What happens if they kill off Captain Price in this one?
No. Alright. This is one of the reasons.
Okay, I'll listen to his points, but then I'm gonna immediately debunk it, saying that it's the same shit. You go first. I'm ready for you.
So, the Call of Duty Modern Warfare trailer came out, and it's a reboot. It's obviously a reboot. It's a reboot to the original trilogy, but they said that the original trilogy is still its own thing, obviously. But this is a reboot bringing out the original characters. That Captain Price is in the game. I think they already revealed. I think they foreshadowed Soap and Ghost or Yuri or whatever.
Most likely Soap, because you can't really have if you're gonna make a Modern Warfare reboot, you can't not have Soap. Yeah. Especially if you're gonna have Captain Price, unless it's a direct sequel to MW3, to which, spoiler alert, Soap's dead, but Price is still up and running. But you know, we'll see.
Anyways, this is a reboot, but this is why this Call of Duty game could be different. Number one, it's made in a new engine.
Well, fuck. That's already... Okay.
It's being made with a new engine. It's a completely different engine. It's not the same bullshit engine that was made from like a decade ago. It's a different engine, and this engine supports photogrammetry graphics, which already piques my interest. Aside from the fact that it's going to be made with the original characters from the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare trilogy, it piques my interest even more.
Okay, sorry, no, continue.
And rumor has that this campaign will have choice and consequence.
Okay.
You will be able to choose your own path in this campaign. So, for example, you can play as a soldier, and there are going to be terrorists captured. What you choose to do with those terrorists will impact the story further, which piques my interest even more.
Black Ops 2 had something similar to it, but Black Ops 2, with the exception of the ending, I didn't think even had, like, big consequences to my knowledge.
Now, this is also very interesting. It will have cosplay. God damn it, crossplay support.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I was gonna say cosplay. Wow, this game is already an anime now.
No, which means that people playing on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation will all be able to play together, which is amazing.
What version would you get it on? Would you get it on PC?
I don't even know if my PC can even fucking support it.
Oh, okay. I mean, my PC runs Warframe, Skyrim, Grand Theft Auto 4, and shit like that. I'm just saying.
I mean, Marcos, there's a new engine.
Alright. Well, when the specs come out, then you'll probably be able to know.
This Call of Duty can support 4K.
Ooh. Pretty.
Ooh. Who gives a shit?
Okay. Anything else?
That's pretty much it. In the multiplayer, you can customize your own character, I think.
Okay. Well, I like that other one. Believe it or not, even if something as minor as customizing it, this is something that Halo would do, and at least Halo Reach did, which added a lot of like character and personality to your Spartans. But no.
Oh! I forgot about another thing. They revealed that there's going to be this mission where there's going to be a gas attack on a children's playground.
That's fucked up, but okay.
I want that fucked up shit. There hasn't been fucked up shit in Call of Duty ever since No Russian.
Okay, now let me get to my perspective on it. Okay, so I didn't know about the new engine thing. That's completely different. But new engines can mean a lot of things, because maybe it'll play differently, but maybe it'll just be a better version of what was already done before. My problem is, keep your I think the moral lesson is to always keep your expectations as low as possible. Just because the title is called Modern Warfare doesn't make it automatically the most innovative game of the year. If anything, it could be your biggest disappointments. So I keep it with a grain of salt. It's Activision, it's Call of Duty. They've destroyed hype several times. I don't think up until Modern Warfare 3, I don't think they've ever lived up a hype. But then again, I haven't been hyped for a Call of Duty game since forever. So maybe I'm wrong. But keep this with a grain of salt. However, this game once again did the same thing that World War II and Black Ops 4 did, and that was pique my interest. Now, here's a little announcement, but it's not going to be for this channel. It'll be for the Sagittarius Brother channel, which I will link in the description. But because this boy is most likely going to get Modern Warfare Remastered, or the Modern Warfare reboot. Sorry.
Damn it, Marcos.
Shut up. I will break my rule of Black Ops 2 being the last Call of Duty game I'm going to play, and Gene and I will actually play Modern Warfare Remastered on the Sagittarius Brother accounts.
Because finally, god damn it, there's a campaign that's actually good. Could be.
Could be. Let's not get our hopes up too high. There's a campaign. But I want to look at this.
It's appreciated because that huge fuckery of bullshit game doesn't have a campaign.
Now here's the thing. I have not played any of these games ever since Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 is still the last Call of Duty game, and that still stayed strong. But whenever I hear shit like, oh, these Call of Duty games are not as bad as some people will make it out to be, or these Call of Duty games ain't that bad, I'm going to give this franchise one last chance to impress me. If this is a new engine and a new direction for the franchise, then maybe, just maybe, Modern Warfare will be the game that will actually bring me back into Call of Duty somewhat, because I know I'm not going to buy every single game that comes out. I just want to at least be impressed by one Call of Duty game, just one. And as long as they accomplish that, then I can honestly die in peace saying, finally, they redeemed themselves at least for once. Because I'm not interested in playing World War II or Black Ops 4 by any sort of means. But if Modern Warfare Remastered, or reboots, whatever, I'm just going to call it Modern Warfare. But if Modern Warfare is a new... Fucking hell, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, we're back in action. But basically what I was trying to say is that I haven't played any of the Call of Duty games prior to Black Ops, like after Black Ops 2, leading up to Modern Warfare. And so the entire point is I want to have my own opinion towards them. I can't say that World War II was a good game, or Black Ops 4 was a bad game, or anything in reality. I can just say that they're all just seems to be the same. But if Modern Warfare can actually break that curse for a bit, for just 5 seconds, then maybe, just maybe, I'll be satisfied with it. I'm only asking for one good game, and I'm hoping that Modern Warfare could deliver that. But please, don't get too hyped for this, because there's a possibility that this game could, I don't know, suck.
I mean, when I see everybody talking about, like, this Call of Duty game is going to have controversial missions, like, it's already a huge selling point for me, because No Russian was one of the best missions in Modern Warfare 2 history.
Well, we'll see what happens. But
and plus, when you're saying this is going to have a new engine, that's already
it's a new sign. But I just hope that they use the new engine properly and not use it to make the same fucking games that they've made since 2007.
I mean, what we can see from this new engine is just like what I expect are like new mechanics or new things that we can do like on the ground or something.
That's the key word, new.
I pretty much expect the same gameplay. I don't know. I
mean, the gameplay doesn't have to change drastically, but at least give us something different to play around with. Like, don't just rely specifically on Spec Ops campaign and multiplayer. Go that extra route. Maybe give us zombies in this one, or something. Like, Something. I'm just asking for something different. Survival was such a fun mode in MW3. I may be wrong, but I don't remember that ever being in Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 had Spec Ops, yes, but Modern Warfare 3 had survival mode. Like, something new. Survival mode was fucking great. I love survival mode. But that's what I mean, like, something new. Something that I can easily say, yes, this was a completely different experience than any Call of Duty game I played. And it was good, too. Because I also don't want it to be shit.
Yeah.
So, here's the big question. Is Call of Duty really as good as we remember it?
I want to say yes, but I feel like it's a no for me.
I can answer this question. It's a yes and no. Because yes, when it came out, it was different. It was a different experience. It was revolutionary. You can't, like, I'll give you the same example as with Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 has marked an impact in the video game industry. It created the ESRB system for its violence. Mortal Kombat 1 doesn't age well with how much improved Mortal Kombat 2 is in comparison. And not only that, but how much how more detailed and brutal the Mortal Kombat fatalities are. But it is a good game because it impacted the video game industry. Well, take that exact same leap of logic with how Mortal Kombat 1 may have not aged well, but it's not a bad game. Modern Warfare 1 and 2, I'd say a good portion of the Call of Duty games do not age well. But that doesn't mean that they're bad. I can have a blast with Modern Warfare 2 and 3 single player content and not play the multiplayer and not lose sleep. But the thing is that can really apply to any Call of Duty game, so personally, I think it's the one that speaks to you the most. And maybe Call of Duty Ghosts is actually your favorite Call of Duty game for such and such reasons. The campaign is good. Extinction is not really that bad. Like, the point of the matter is that don't expect these Call of Duty games to age or, to hold up to the test of time, because in reality, not all of them, or really none of them, actually do. But the fun memories of Modern Warfare and Black Ops, for instance, they do hold up. I'm a big hater of these games, but I'm not gonna say that they haven't really, that there was never a point where I didn't say that I did not have fun with it. I have a blast with Black Ops 1 and 2. I have a blast with Survival Mode in Modern Warfare 3, and I have a blast with the Spec Ops and MW 2 and 3. And I hold nothing but big respect with CoD 4. But when I'm judging these as a multiplayer-based thing, then no, they don't hold up. They don't age well. Personally, I would much prefer they give us one game each console generation and have endless supports of that game. Because then when that game has to eventually die, then it will still be remembered as being a good multiplayer game. The Modern Warfare trilogy is lucky because not only did they have a really good story, but they also had a good multiplayer, or at least in the case of CoD 4, they had a multiplayer that we never thought about having in our lives. It was a blessing for most gamers. But yeah, I think as time goes on, you kind of realize yeah, Call of Duty is good, but now we have Counter-Strike, we have Overwatch, we have other games that pretty much take that exact same formula that Call of Duty is going for, but rather than releasing a new game every year, they're really just trying to do so much to have the game's lifespan expanded even further. And that's what I love, when the companies do their very best to keep the game alive until the end of the generation. The end of that console generation is when they'll move on to the next. Capcom is doing that with Street Fighter. Namco seems to be doing that with Tekken. I think if Call of Duty were to do that, I'm pretty sure Call of Duty would not have the same reception as it has, and it'll probably be one of the best games in the pro circuit. Call of Duty and Halo were at one point one of the amongst the highest games in MLG at the time. They were the highest rated games in the MLG. That has to mean something. But if we're looking at them as games themselves, then no, they're not. They don't hold up, but they're not bad. None of them are really badly made. It's just that they are lazy.
I mean, I feel like when you're talking about is Call of Duty really as good as we remember it, we have to be like more specific with which Call of Duty games we're talking about.
The Modern Warfare games.
Because I feel like Black Ops is pretty polarizing, because Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, sure, but in my eyes, Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 aren't worth shit.
For me, the Modern Warfare games will always... Okay, Modern Warfare 1 and 2... Okay, let me go in order. CoD 4...
Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 are gems.
They are gems because they did something that was innovative, something new for their time. Or at least CoD 4 did. World at War did the same thing by introducing Nazi zombies. So those two games, while you probably can't really play the multiplayer because due to the lack of player base, hence the game that doesn't really hold up, they did something that was different from that every other game is trying to proceed. That's something that's to be respectable. Modern Warfare 2 arguably improved on many things that CoD 4 did, and Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 1 improved the zombies, as well as both games giving us really good campaigns. Modern Warfare 3, to my knowledge, I don't think the same people that worked on Modern Warfare 1 and 2 were involved in Modern Warfare 3. I mean, sure, Infinity Ward was there, but Sledgehammer Games made the multiplayer. And Sledgehammer Games, correct me if I'm wrong, but did they make Advanced Warfare or did they make Ghosts?
No, like, the people that did make Modern Warfare 1 and 2, like, they left.
Exactly.
They left Infinity Ward.
Which this is what's kind of like makes me a little bit iffy with Modern Warfare's reboots, is that I don't think that the people that made Modern Warfare 1 and 2 are even involved with it. So it's like...
No, they're not, because they made Respawn.
That's why I'm trying to take it as with a big grain of salt, because you can tell when the same people that have not worked on the movies of the previous installments, or hell, even the latest. To be fair, you can easily tell between who's the fact that the director of The Force Awakens did not make The Last Jedi. Like, I'm just gonna point that out there. That same thing can apply to Modern Warfare.
Don't talk about it.
I said that same thing could happen in Modern Warfare.
Shush.
Captain Price could die. Or be gay, you know.
Okay, now you're opening a much bigger can of worms that I don't even want to talk about. So, let's just move on.
Okay, so... to really emphasize it, I think the Modern Warfare games are good. They're just as good as we remember it as they were then. They are gems because they were innovative. But I think the Call of Duty games that came after Black Ops... Actually, I'm just going to say it. After Modern Warfare 3, really. Because after Black Ops 2... By the time Black Ops 2 rolls in, that's how you know they've been pretty much recycling the same content. At least MW3 gave us survival mode.
Because Call of Duty Ghosts is as good as I remember it.
Okay.
Advanced Warfare is shit.
Okay, so I'll put Ghost there. If I do end up liking Modern Warfare, I'll give Ghost a try because I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Because I heard nothing but negative things about Ghosts. But you and Nelson then came into my life and then just kind of opened my eyes to a new opinion that I never heard of.
Well, because, what you were listening to were little salty Black Ops 2 players that really loved doing clutches and shit.
Alright, so maybe Ghost isn't even as bad as many people are saying it. But, again, we'll do that after Modern Warfare is out. So, yeah. And maybe we'll see if Call of Duty Ghosts is really as good as most people remember it. But the Modern Warfare games... The zombies game, I'll say the zombie trilogy, I guess, because I want to count World at War, Black Ops 1. Okay, Black Ops 2 is kind of polarizing for me because I only like it because it's just a good game for me, but I'm not sure if it really should count in that same category because it really didn't do anything new.
It did in the campaign, multiple endings.
Yeah, but that almost seems like something you can ignore. Because I really don't remember if they even made a big difference. I mean, I know. Okay, actually, no, I lied. The ending is a big difference. But I'm talking about the choices leading up to it. There are multiple choices, but they don't make a big difference.
Yeah, they do.
Besides the ending, name them.
There's also this one mission that you're on the ship, and if you do a prior choice, it does like it's either the destruction of the ship or you save the ship.
How does that impact the story, though?
I don't know.
Exactly. If it doesn't impact the story, then it's a waste of potential. If it doesn't save important characters, or if it leads to the deaths of important characters, then it's not really used in a very Bethesda-esque way.
I mean, I'm just gonna say that Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 4, and World War II are not that good. They're just the same recycled shit over and over and over again, and people just being salty over it and just defending it.
Okay, so those games, they are not good. Black Ops 2, I'll say Black Ops 2 is the gap between. It's probably one of the better Call of Duty games, but it also has the same issues with like that the newer Call of Duty games have.
I mean, in my opinion, I kind of preferred Black Ops 1 over Black Ops 2, but that's just my opinion.
I also prefer Black Ops 1 over Black Ops 2.
But aside from that, let's move on to the next topic.
And that is... Okay,
if Modern Warfare, the reboot, can actually redeem the franchise.
With what you tell me, possibly. But the thing is, I think it'll be a good game at best. But I don't think it'll redeem the franchise, because then I'll see Activision repeating history, recycling the same engine, the same new engine that Modern Warfare did. If they could stop for a moment and just support Modern Warfare until the PlayStation 5 comes out, and then make another Call of Duty that will make a bigger impact, then sure. Yeah, then it'll definitely redeem it. But Modern Warfare at most will just be a good game.
Alright.
But one good game, but like, I'll say this, the same way how I can say that one bad game or one bad movie will not ruin a franchise for me. I mean, for fuck's sake, I'm still watching the DCEU, despite me having no reasons to. With Call of Duty, having a series of games that I don't like, at best, maybe they'll have one good game. But then if they make the same mistakes as they made with the other games, and let's be honest, they will most likely do, then they haven't redeemed themselves. They just made one good game, and then they're like, yes, we made money, let's redo it again.
I don't think Modern Warfare is going to really redeem the franchise, because if you want to redeem a franchise of 20 games strong, I don't think just one game's going to do it.
Unless if they do what other video game companies are doing, because that would be a whole new direction for Activision.
Because Modern Warfare is going to have a new engine. This Modern Warfare is going to have a new engine, and if they continue on with that engine, then history could just repeat itself and do the same shit that this game did.
I'm sorry, did he just took my words and just use it on his own? I feel like he just did that.
Yeah, I did do that. But
like, again, if they just stop and just do nothing but support Modern Warfare by giving us new content, like the same way how literally every video game company is doing, and then they continue it with the next Call of Duty game in the next console generation, then yes, then they perfectly redeem themselves, especially if they keep up with that track record. But until they do that, and if they do the same shit that they did before, no, then this game is almost just going to be a good game.
But yeah, I don't feel that this Modern Warfare reboot's gonna redeem the franchise. I feel like it could be a stepping stone for further installments.
But if anything, that's not really much of a good thing.
But I don't feel like this Call of Duty is gonna redeem it. I can change my opinion once I play the game. But I don't feel that this Call of Duty is gonna actually redeem it because, again, there has to be more games in the franchise for it to actually be redeemed. Like, not just one game to do it.
Now, the last question is, I already talked about what I would like to see for future Call of Duty games to do. Support the current one, and then wait till the next generation to make another one, and keep supporting that. But that's me. What do you want in a Call of Duty game? What would you think? What do you want to see in future Call of Duty games for them to potentially redeem themselves?
Well, I don't think that most of the Call of Duty community wants this, but this is like just my opinion, and I don't really feel like anybody else wants this. But what I do want in a Call of Duty game is I want a realistic campaign. I want a realistic campaign. I want realistic weapons. I want the choices that I make in a Call of Duty game to actually take a toll on the story. In reality, I just want a really good campaign. I want a really good campaign that is a lot better than fucking Modern Warfare 2, because no other Call of Duty game has a better campaign than Modern Warfare 2. I would have to say that Black Ops 1 is really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say Black Ops 1's a really good one.
But does it really hold a candle to Modern Warfare 2's campaign? I don't think so.
I think the Modern Warfare trilogy just has a very complete and very good, is a really good trilogy-esque story for video games. The Modern Warfare trilogy can just be pretty much like the year 2000s video game versions of the Star Wars trilogy or something.
Yes, and I also feel like for Modern Warfare to actually make a name for themselves is I want them to do something controversial. I want them to do something like No Russian. I want them to...
I want to see the Last Jedi versions of subverting my expectations. Kill off the main villain that you're clearly building up to, and make your main character the bad guy. Make Captain Price the villain. Okay, I'm joking. I'm done rambling.
I want them to do something like No Russian. I want there to be a mission where I play as a terrorist, or I am the victim of a terrorist attack. I want them to do something controversial so bad, because in reality there hasn't been anything controversial in a game other than No Russian, where you kill a bunch of civilians in an airport. That mission was fucking iconic. And the only other controversial thing that has ever happened in a game is Grand Theft Auto 5, where you torture someone. But other than that, there hasn't been anything controversial in any other video game.
Yeah, now pretty much everybody's already accepting the Mortal Kombat fatalities.
I want there to be something controversial, and if there is going to be a mission where there's a mustard gas attack in a children's playground, I want them to pull all the stops and see people dying, because
I'm gonna bet you. Who wants to bet money that mission's gonna be so disappointing in your eyes? Because you're really anticipating for this one, and I feel like they're gonna do it, but they're not gonna show anything.
I don't give a shit if anybody gets offended about that mission. If that mission is extremely explicit, I don't give a shit. I want to see it. I want there to be realistic, not super realistic, because obviously it's not like actual combat. It's not going to be like actual military combat, but I just want something to be as similar to that, as close to that, because I want to be immersed.
Okay, that's honestly pretty fair.
And I don't feel like I've been immersed in a Call of Duty campaign other than fucking Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1. Because World War II felt like a fucking Michael Bay Transformers movie. Because there were a lot of set pieces. I don't want there to be set pieces in a Call of Duty game. I want it to be a fucking shootout. I want weapons, but I don't want to see fucking Optimus Prime killing somebody. I want to see Captain Price fucking massacring terrorists. I want Dope to fucking. I want there to be fucking violence in Modern Warfare, okay? Just not that fantasy shit. I want it to be real.
Okay, that's a good one. Now something just came up. I'm gonna show you my screen, and I'm gonna bring up OBS for a second because this is something that we're gonna do for another Slugcast. But I feel like it's a good time to at least, look at the Call of Duty games for how they are. Can you see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Let's rank the Call of Duty games. Going back to it a little bit further of the games that, we consider to be good, or
Black Ops 4.
Huh?
Black Ops 4 trash.
Okay, let's start with Call of Duty Ghosts.
I'd have to give it an A.
Okay.
An A.
Call of Duty World War II.
A B. No, a C. A C. A C.
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I feel like that's S.
SS Marcos.
Infinite Warfare.
Trash.
Black Ops.
Trash.
Wait, is that 2 or is that 3?
Trash.
No, that's 2. That's 3. Oh, you're right. I can see. Okay.
3. It's trash.
Modern Warfare 2 is SS. World at War. I'm gonna put it in S.
It's SS. SS.
World at War.
Yes, SS, and Black Ops 1 is also SS.
Okay, I have an idea. Let's. Okay. These games started it, but these games perfected it.
Alright, fine.
Black Ops 3.
Trash.
Modern Warfare 3 I think should be
An A.
Yeah, I was thinking like Modern Warfare 3 is good, but I'm not sure if it's S quality. Black Ops 2, as I said before, it should be the gap between these games. And then Advanced Warfare.
Trash.
And there you go.
Trash.
These are like this is like what I kind of wanted to point out with the Call of Duty games. Like, that there's like the really good ones, but then there's also like the really shitty ones. And this is what I mean by I think Black Ops 2 kind of has this weird gap between, it's probably better than these, but they made the same mistakes as these. Like Black Ops 2 didn't really do anything innovative, but it's not a bad game is a thing. So I don't know if that's like a big soft spot that I have for it, but yeah.
Also, to go from what we want for future Call of Duty games, I also want to say something about the multiplayer.
Okay.
I don't really give a shit about multiplayer modes because they're pretty much the same. It's team deathmatch and all that. It's fine. Just keep it that way. But I feel like I just want to customize my character, and I don't want the shitty customization that Call of Duty has right now. I want the good customization. I want to pick my own costume. I want to give my fucking character a face paint or something like that. I also want to do what Call of Duty Ghosts did and play as either Soap or Price or play as a fucking guest character, because Call of Duty Ghosts you can play as fucking Michael Myers and Predator. I want something like that. Because that was fun. That was insanely fun.
Okay.
And Michael Myers, he couldn't have a fucking weapon. He had to have his own little axe, and Predator had to have his own abilities, which was fucking fun. It was fun, and that's what I just want from a game. I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be this fucking... I don't want it to be like I'm playing a fucking esports game in my home. I just want to chill out in my house and play the campaign and play some fun multiplayer.
Okay, that's fair enough. Alright, so I think that's it for the Call of Duty Slugcast. Or should I say the Duty Cast?
Yeah.
Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed a bunch of Call of Duty haters just rambling about Call of Duty.
Well, not Call of Duty haters. Call of Duty.
Former Call of Duty fans.
Yeah. Because right now, people that play Call of Duty are either little 12-year-olds that play Fortnite.
Or younger.
Or much younger high school people.
You're being too nice. Just say it. Fucking 5-year-olds.
Yeah, 5-year-olds.
Like, I remember, like, a while back, like, when I did play MW3 consistently, I would not hear constant kids whining. Like, they were much younger than 12. And I babysit kids that play Fortnite, and they are not 12.
Yeah. But I just really don't like the Call of Duty multiplayer these days. I'd much rather play fucking Black Ops 1 multiplayer than play shitty Black Ops 4 multiplayer.
Yeah. I just want something different.
Well, alright, that's the end of the Slutcast.
Yep, hope you enjoy it, but don't go anywhere because we have another Slutcast coming sometime, but we're going to be recording it in the same day, hopefully. But we'll see you in the next Slutcast with me and Gene, and maybe a new challenger.
Alright, guys, goodbye, good night, we love you all, peace out.
Later, sluts.